Welcome back everyone. So in today's video I will be showing you how to set up DBT Core with Oracle database. Okay, so I will be showing you what you need to do in order to connect DBT Core to Oracle database. Okay, as part of this demo also I will show you, once we have our connections from DBT Core established with Oracle database, I will show you how to run a very basic transformations on a table in Oracle, and then we transform it right to another Oracle schema. Okay, so this is the high level data flow that we will be setting up in this video. Okay, so you can see here we have DBT, and then DBT is going to be connecting to a staging schema, assuming this is where we have our raw data, and then we will use DBT to transform this data, and then the transformed data we will write it back to a transformed schema within Oracle database. Okay, so let's get to it. Alright, so what do you need in order to have this connection established? So the first thing that you will need to do or to have is Oracle database. Okay, so you do need to have Oracle database set up for you in case you want to follow along. If you do not have Oracle set up, in the last video I made a video, or previously I made a video where I walked you through the process of installing Oracle on your local environment, and for that one we did it in Mac. Okay, so I will leave the link for that in the description. And then one other thing that you might need also is dpifer. So dpifer is a SQL client tool. That is the one that we used to connect with Oracle. Okay, so we'll come back to this tool later when we run our queries, right? But yeah, that is just one thing that you might need, but this is not necessarily needed. If you are using a different SQL client tool to connect to Oracle, that should be sufficient enough. Okay, so we just want something that we can use to run queries, against our Oracle database. All right, so those are two things. And then for the setup with Oracle, to install Oracle on your local machine, I did use Docker. So I'm going to go over now to my Docker desktop, and I'm going to open it. I'm going to open Docker, and I am just going to start my image or container. Okay, so you can see here, this is my dashboard here, and the Oracle container or image name that I currently have that contains the Oracle Oracle database itself is this one here, right? So Oracle DB here, this is the one. So I'm just going to hit start here. Okay, so I'm selected to this, and then I'm going to hit start. So you can see this is running now. You can click into it and you can see some of the logs, right? So that means that our Oracle container is now running, right? And then let's go ahead and log to this database. So I'm now going to navigate over to dpifer, right? And if you did watch the last video, these were some of the things that some of the queries that I ran, right, in order to create our schema and all. So I'll probably just leave this one here because we might just use this data towards the end of this video to run some transformation queries against, right? So as you can see on the left side here, I do have a number of databases connected, and the one for Oracle is this one here. So all of this I did it in the last video. So this one here is the one for Oracle. So I'm going to expand this, and so you can see it's connected because our container is running, right? So you do need to have the container running in your Docker environment in order to connect, and it's running in port 1521, right? So if you, let me just quickly go to edit connections, and you can see that we are running this on localhost. The port is 1521. The service name is FreeDB. Okay, so this service name is also going to be useful when we create our connection, and this is a database or a service name provided by Oracle. Okay, so this is so when you install Oracle with Docker or Dockerized applications, and you want to connect to a free Oracle database, this is the one that you can use. Okay, so if you go to Google right now and just search that, hopefully, yeah, so you can see this one is showing up 6 connecting. So service name. So this might give you more information. So you can see this one is saying free DB1 is the default service name for pluggable database PDB created during the installation of Oracle database free, specifically for functions like Oracle database 2021C free. Okay, so you can see if you do want to connect to the free Oracle database, you can use this service name here. I didn't change this. You can change this during your installation with Docker. When you want to put up your Docker environment, you can change this, I believe. So, but we'll just use it as default, right? So that is the one that we'll be using in case you're wondering, you know, how we ended up here, right? So, okay, and then so we do have our connection now. We are able to connect to our database. So because we want to set DBT with this environment or connect DBT Core to this environment, what I would like us to do is to go ahead and create a few more schemas. Okay, so we will create a staging schema, and that staging schema is the one that will have our raw data in, right? And then we'll create another one, maybe let's say reporting schema, and that is where we will write our transformed queries to. So DBT will be writing to that schema, okay, the reporting schema or the finals. I don't know, you can call it any name, right? So in our case we will call it reporting. So let's go over here to schemas, and what I would like to do here is to create a schema here, and we will call this schema staging. Okay, so this is going to be called staging, and you just need to put the password here, so that this password is the one that you used when you are creating your database. So in the last video I did this when putting up the container, so you specify a password, and that is the password I'm putting here. Okay, so go ahead and create it, and you can see we have our staging schema created here now, and we don't have any tables. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grant some space to this. So I'm going to grant unlimited space to this. So we'll grant unlimited table space to staging. I don't think this is necessary, but I'm still new to Oracle, so I'm not sure if this is something that you do need to always do or not. So if you don't need to have this, you guys forgive me. But I was just reading some basic documentation and it mentioned that you might need this. Also, when I created a schema earlier and I tried to run queries, it complained that you do need this unlimited space. So I don't know if that's something that's required or not, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So I will grant this unlimited table space to staging. Okay, so you can see this one is granted now. So staging should be good. Actually, let's go ahead and add some data to this, right? So I'm going to click this staging, and we will open a new SQL editor for this right here. Okay, and what I will do once we've done that is I'm going to create this table there, right? This orders table. You can use any, you can, as long as you have any data, you can just use any data. You can create the same way I'm doing, or you can just load CSV data. You know, there are different ways of bringing data to Oracle. You just have to have a table somewhere. Okay, so I've created this inside our staging here. Okay, so you can see we have orders. Okay, and let's go ahead and insert some records to this. So I'm just going to copy this one here. All of this I did it in the last video, so I'm just going to copy and paste this one here. Okay, all right, so and then I will go ahead and insert this. I'm going to insert this one here. There we go. Okay, so we do have these records inserted now, hopefully, to this table. So let's go ahead and fill data. Yeah, so you can see we have about 20 records inserted. Okay, so now we have our staging setup, and we have some tables or some records there, right? So we have some records inserted here. So we will be using this later. We'll run transformation against this. Maybe we can do some basic filtering, and then we will write that to a transformation schema. Okay, so we have staging ready. Now let's create additional schema here, and I'm going to call this one reporting, and we'll just do the same thing. We will put the password here. Okay, the same password really. Okay, and then so we have reporting here done, and I'll just go ahead and do the same thing for the space, make it unlimited. And then we'll go ahead and grant unlimited space to this, right? So that one executed. Good. Okay, so we are not going to be doing anything with this now, right? We'll let DBT write our transformed queries or transformed data to this reporting. So we'll assume that this is going to be the schema that our reporting team will be using, or anyone else who needs transformed data, they will be picking the data from here, right? So we will leave this one as it is, but we now have staging getting our like our raw data, right? So that's very good. Now let's go over to DBT. Let's go over to DBT now and set up DBT and see if we can connect to this environment, right? So we have our database set up, we have our data ready, and we have our schemas also available. So the next thing that we need to do then is to have DBT connect to this environment. Okay, so to do that, I will be using Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to jump over to Visual Studio Code. And what I will need to do here is I need to open a local workspace folder where we will have our code, our DBT code stored in. Traditionally, you might want to connect this to a version control tool, maybe like GitHub or GitLab, Bitbucket, where you can store your code in case you are going to be collaborating with a larger team. But for my case, I don't have this one currently. I think there's another repo that I used to push to GitHub, but this is just stuff that I'm doing on my local machine. So to do this, all you have to do is just go to File and then open the folder. So for this one, this is repos for me, and then I'm just going to open it here. So you can see here I do have a number of other folders here. So you can see we have Athena, pQuery, this one for MySQL. So all of these are projects for DBT. So I'll just like to put them in the same location. But you don't have to have yours, the same as mine. So this is my setup here. What I will do here then is I'm going to create a Python virtual environment. So we do need to install. So DBT Core is a library, a Python library, tool that you can install and then run DBT against. So in this video, we'll be installing two libraries. So DBT Core, the CLI tool, and then DBT Oracle, which is going to be the adapter, right? So this this DBT documentation here, it mentions what we need to do, right? And I'll put this in the description as well. So as you can see here, these are the two libraries that we need to install. So DBT Core and DBT Oracle, and you can use Python pip install, right? So these are available using Python. So DBT Core is a CLI tool, and DBT adapter, DBT Oracle is the adapter that lets you connect to Oracle. So we do need these two. So what you can do is you can just go ahead and inside your Python virtual environment, you can run this command as it is. But for me, let's go ahead and do one thing here. I'm going to put those ones inside requirements. So you can see inside my root folder, right? Inside my repos folder, if I show you here, inside my repos folder, I have the requirements.txt, which is this one here. And in here, I just put DBT Core and DBT Oracle. I haven't mentioned the versions. So this should install the latest one, right? Okay, so these are the two libraries that we'll be installing. And now the next thing that we need to do is to create our environment. I do not have a Python virtual environment here, so I'm going to do that. So to do that, you will need to do Python. For me, I'm in Max for Python 3, and then we will do phi. I think it's Python m phi and phi. Phi and phi. Okay, so we'll call this one phi and phi Python virtual environment. Then we'll go ahead and execute this. Okay, so the name of the Python virtual environment is this one, phi and phi. So these three commands here is telling Python to create a Python virtual environment, and then the last one here is the name. So you can change this also. You can name it DBT phi and phi. You can name it whichever way. But these first three, you should put them here so that Python knows that you are trying to create a virtual environment. Okay, so you can go inside this folder here now, and you can see that we do have some bash commands here like activate, and this basically is to let you activate your environment. So let's go ahead and do that. So to activate that in Mac, you can do source, and then we go inside that Python that folder, and then under pin we just go ahead and activate it, right? So you can see now that our environment is activated because we see it appended at the beginning here. Okay, so that is good. And now let's see if we do have anything installed inside this virtual environment. So pfreeze will list all of the things that are installed, and as you can see, it's nothing is coming up, right? So it's quite new. So let's go ahead now and install these two libraries here, right? So to do that, we'll just go ahead and say pip install r requirements. Okay, and this is going to install majorly, or basically these two here. There might be some others that will be added, but these two should be the ones that will have them installed. Okay, so and then when we do pip freeze again, you can see that we have, you know, quite a number now. And then the one that are of interest to us, DBT Oracle. This is the one that is going to connect to Oracle, and we should have DBT Core here as well, right here, right? So these two now are installed, and let's go ahead now and make our connections, right? So to do that now, inside this same repo as well, we just want to create our connection now to Oracle, right? So to do that, we just go ahead and run this command dbt init. So this dbt init command now is going to initialize our connections to Oracle, right? And so you can see here, enter the name of your project. So for this one, we will name this one Oracle, right? You can also name this one whichever one you like. I will just put this one as Oracle. And then when you go down here, you can see which database will you like to use. We only have Oracle now. In other scenarios, if you have a number of other adapters here listed, then you will see the list here 1, 2, 3, and you just need to select a number next to the database you want to connect to, right? So in this case, 1 is going to be the number for Oracle. And then when you go down here, it's asking you for the protocol. Okay, so first thing here you will see is Oracle adapter is running on thin mode. So this is the lightweight Python version that's running on. And then so the protocol here, so you do have two options here for protocol, TCP or TCPS. So this TCP is the like an unsecured version, right? So because we're running locally, this is not going through like secured line. So this is not exposed to internet. But if you are running it in production environment, then you probably will be using TCPS. Okay, so this will have, like, you know, more secure line, you know, TLS certificates and all of that. So again, this is running locally, so we'll go with TCP. So I'm just going to type here TCP. You can see here the default one is TCPS, so I'm changing this to TCP. And then coming down here, it's going to ask you for the host. So I think what they recommend is, if you are going to be, when you're setting this up, you will want to put them in environment variable so you don't expose this, right? So that's why it's giving you the default location here. But I'm just going to put the name here manually, and this one will be localhost, right? Localhost. And then the port number by default says 1522. For our case, we put the port to 1521. So if it's 1522 for you, just go ahead and just leave it as it is. Okay, so 1521 is the port, and then the user now, the user that we are connecting to our database, the user that we are using is system user. So if you go here, in that last video we made, the user that we used is system. Okay, so I'm just going to use the same one here, system user. And then the password, just put the password here, right? So this same password is the one that we said in the last video. So just put the password here, and just click enter here. And then so the service name here, all right? So this is the service name that we also used here, this service name here, this FreeDB. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, and then we will put it right here. Okay, free PDB1. Okay. All right, and then the last one here is going to ask the service name. So this is kind of, yeah, let me zoom it in. So the service name, the schema, sorry, the schema is the one that's next here. So the schema, and you can see this one. It says this schema here is the database schema in which DBT objects should be created. So this is now where DBT will build your transformed models in, right? So for this one, this is where we want to put reporting. And reporting is because when we run our models, we want to tell DBT where to write those transformed queries to. So that for our case will be this one here, reporting. Because staging will be holding the raw data, and then DBT will be building it to another location. You can still use the same one as staging if you want. I'm going to use reporting in this case. So we just go ahead here and put reporting like so. Okay. And then for threads, we'll just leave threads as 1 in this case. And then that's it. Okay. So we have our project now created, and you can see here profile Oracle written to this location. So this is also useful for you. If something happens in your connection, then you will want to go to profiles and then edit that file, because if your connection changes or if something happens with the username or password, those will be contained inside the profiles.yaml file, and this is the location. So it's good to know this location so that you can go back there and then make changes, right? Okay, so let's go ahead now. I'm going to clear this, and on the left side here you can see that now that we do have Oracle, right? We should have Oracle. There we go. So you can see now we have Oracle created, and it contains the structure that DBT overall structure, right? So we have analysis here, macros, models, you know, we have seeds, snapshots. So generally this is how the structure for DBT looks like. And if you take a look into some of the other ones that I've previously done, like for example my SQL, it's the same structure. If you look at which other ones here, you know, for this one, for RDS, it is the same structure. So once you initialize your project, the structure will be provided for you, so you don't have to do this, you don't have to create this manually. But you know, if you wanted, you can just create a structure manually if you like. But okay, so we do have this structure now, and the next thing that we would like to do now is to test if our connection to Oracle works fine, right? So for that, what we would like to do is we want to switch to this project, right? The one we created. So we will just cd to this Oracle project, and then inside there you can see that we have our DBT project, the YAML file, and then the rest of the other folders, right? So in order now to test if our connection is good, then we want to run this command called dbt debug, right? So dbt debug is going to go through your configurations and then go to your profile file and check if you have everything configured there, and then it's going to try to connect to your database, and if it's all good, then it's going to connect. Okay, so traditionally if you only have one profile, then you can just do dbt debug, right? And then it's going to run it, and it's going to check all of those and run. But in my scenario, I do have quite a number of them, right? I have like you know, in my profile I have profiles to Snowflake, SQL Server, Redshift, so it's all contained in the same profile file. So if I try to run this way, it's going to throw some errors to me, most likely. Right, so you can see here, okay, so it did not do it, which is interesting. Okay, so it didn't do it, but okay, so it was able to find Oracle because I'm inside Oracle. But in some other scenarios, you will see that if connections to other profiles that you have, if you have them in the same place, it might throw some errors. So you know, one way of correcting that is to put the profile tag here. So you can put profile and then just, you know, do Oracle, right? Which is a profile name. So it looks like it should be working the same way. Okay. So you can see now that all of these have passed. So all checks passed. That means that we have our connection to Oracle working fine. There is a warning here. Oracle adapter database key is missing from the target profile in profiles. Starting with Oracle 1.8 database is needed for catalog generation. Without database key, will be empty. The generated catalog will be empty. So let's probably try to fix this. Basically, what's saying is you do need a database key there. So let me go over to my users directory, and if you are on Mac, it's kind of hidden, so you have to refill the files. So I think the command to refill that is things like command shift and then dot, yeah, command shift period, right? So this is going to refill the hidden files. So those ones will be under .dbt, and in your profiles you will see them here. So I'm just going to go over to Oracle section here, right? So you can see for Oracle, this is the one we just created. This is the setup that was generated for us. Okay, so you do have here your local host, your password, the port, the TCP protocol here. We have our schemas reporting. This is where DBT will be writing to, and then service as FreeDP, FreePDP1. That error is saying that you do need the database here, so I'm just going to put database here, and the database will just still be the same one here. So I'm going to copy this and put it right here, like so. Okay, and then we'll save this. I'm just going to close this after that. And now let's go ahead and run that debug command again. There we go. Okay, so you can see now that everything is green, and that means that we are able to connect to our database environment, right, without any errors. So up to this point, you can just say that now you are able to successfully connect DBT to Oracle, right? And then from here now, you can just go ahead and now use DBT to run your transformations, and you should be able to connect to Oracle, right? Or write to Oracle. So for that case, let's run a very simple starter model that has been provided for us. So if you go under models within your Oracle folder here, you can see that we have this example model that we've been given, and if you expand this, you can see there's some very generic configuration here. So you can see this one is material as a table, and this is doing some very basic data transformation. So this one is going to be created as a table, and then for this will be my first DBT model, and then the second one will also be created as my second DBT model. But in this case, we have not specified the configuration on how to materialize this as. So what DBT is going to do is it's going to use the configuration that you provided in your DBT project.yml. So you can see, for example folder here, everything is defaulted to be created as a view, right? So the second model here will be created as a view, and then the first one will be created as a table. So before we run it, let me just go back to our client here, and as you can see within the reporting, let's go to reporting schema here, right? So within the reporting schema, we don't have any table or any view, right? So that means that we don't have anything here. So let's go ahead and run it. So we'll run this one here. We'll run just this model, and we expect this to be created in our database with these names, right? So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just going to go, so to run that, you just need to do dbt run. You can do select if you like, but since we only have one model right now, dbt run should be sufficient. Okay, so just do dbt run, and there we go. So you can see now that this one successfully ran, and we have created two models. So you can see the the first one here has been created as a table, my first DBT model, and then the second one has been created as a view, the second DBT model. Okay, so if we go now to our reporting schema here, you can see that we have this created, right? And it contains some data points. Okay, so this one has number 1 is 1, and then 2 is null, and then for the view, it is just going to filter for where ID is 1. So we only have 1 here, right? Very good. So great. So that means that we are able to write our data now to Oracle database from DBT, and that is awesome. Okay, So I did mention at the beginning of this video that we will be using data from Oracle to do some basic transformations. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to delete this one. So I'm going to delete this data model here. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that altogether. And what I will do is within models now, we will create two files. So I'm going to create one file here, one for schema.yml, so to hold our source data, and then another one I'm just going to call this one order data, right? Orders.sql. So that's going to hold our transformation query, and the table that we'll be using in this scenario will be the one from staging, right? So where is staging here? We do have staging right here. So that is the table that we created earlier, this one here. So this is the table that we'll use. Okay, so it contains this amount of records and this amount of fields as well, right? So let's go ahead and now bring this, use this table in DBT, run some transformation, and the final transform data, we write it back to reporting, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing that we need to do is to set up our schema. So this is where we put our sources, and then where our table is, and then for this one we will go ahead and write the query itself. So for this, let me just grab a basic schema here, right? So I'm going to copy this schema here, and I will put it where is my Oracle? Right here, right? So I'll put it here. Okay, so within your schema, all you need to do is to specify where your source data is coming from. So the first one here, we are defining sources, and we are naming our source. So I'm just going to name this one orders row. Okay, and then the schema where this one is coming from from our Oracle is staging, right? That's where this data is located, staging. And then the name of the table here. So you can do the description here, but we only have one table, or that's the table we want to transform, called orders. So which is this one here, right? So orders table. And then for the models here, you can also do the same thing. Like you can have models. This basically models are your .sql select statements. So for this one, we have named this as orders, right? So so we want to look for a model name with orders, which is this one here, and we want to materialize this. Let's materialize this as a table, right? Okay, or a view. Maybe for reporting they will probably consume it as views, right? So maybe if you don't want to store data within your database, we can put it as a view. So you can either materialize it as a view or a table, right? So that is good enough. Let's just leave it as it is. Okay. All right, so we do have our model now, and we have the materialization. You can also change the alias here if you like alias, and put a different name here, maybe orders final. Okay, so you can do something like that. We'll just leave it as orders for now. Okay. All right, so I think this one is good, and now let's go over to our SQL statement here, right? So we'll just put our SQL here. And for this one, this is just going to be for this, it's just going to be just any generic SQL statement, right? So let me write a city for this. So let's say maybe with row orders as, okay, and we just going to do select here, select from, let's do from that table. So the table that we are going to be doing here will be the this table here, right? And it's going to come from staging schema. So DBT here, when you're writing a DBT, you have to use changer templating. So for that, you do this, right, like so, and then you put the source name here, and then the source for this one, that the source will be coming from schema .yaml. So the source name is this one, this guy here, right? So it will be this source here, and then the name of the table is orders, right? In our source, we are getting orders, like so, right? So what this one is going to, when this one compiles, right, when DBT compiles this one, it is going to interpret this as select from, and then it's just going to be like staging dot orders, right? And that's going to be getting the data from our database here, right? So if you were to run this query here, you will just want to tell where it's coming from. Okay, so staging here again is this one, and the orders row is the name of the source, and then staging will be the schema, and then the name of the table is orders. Okay, all right, and then I will go down here before we put the actual field names. We'll just go ahead and select everything. Select star from row orders. Okay, and then inside here now let's go ahead and put our logic here. So let's go ahead, what do we want? So let's get order ID, let's get customer name. What else? And then maybe product name and order date. Product name, let's say product name, and then probably total amount, maybe total amount. Okay, and so yeah, let's see, maybe let's do some filtering where total amount is greater than or equal to 500. Yeah, okay, so just doing some very basic filtering here, nothing fancy, but you know, you can make it as complex as you like, right? So I just want to show you how you will do it within your DBT environment. But you can make this, you can do aggregation, you can do, you know, some heavy fancy stuff. Okay, so this is, I think this is good enough for me here. Hopefully this query looks good. Total amount here. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to save this, and let's go ahead and run this model. We'll run this model and see what happens. If this model is going to run properly, what it's going to do is it's going to just filter this, and then for it's going to create these fields, and then for a total amount that is more than 500, so anything that is greater than 500 here, 500 or more, we will have those records available for us, and that table will be created in reporting. And actually it's going to be a few. Let me actually drop this. Let's delete this. We no longer need it, and then we also delete this, right? Okay, so now it's going to be created as a field within reporting, so we'll have a orders field within this reporting schema. Okay, so that is good enough. Now let's go ahead and run this. So to run it, we just go ahead and do a DBT run again. So DBT run is going to compile this model and then create it in our target destination. Okay, so you can do DBT compile if you like. If you do DBT compile, it's going to compile this query, and then it's going to tell you if there are any issues. You can see this one is good, no issues. So we'll go ahead and do DBT run now. Okay, and this is basically going to go through this and tell us if there are any issues. Okay, so it looks like there are some errors, not able to find the staging orders table, and this might have to do with some permission issues. So I'll have to go back and check if I do need to create a dedicated user for DBT in this scenario. But for now, since we already have our model set up, let's actually move that table. We'll just move that table to the transformation layer, and then we'll run it, and then I will come back and fix that issue. Okay, so let me go back to, we'll go back to reporting schema here, because that seems to be working fine. So I'm going to open a new SQL editor for this, and then instead of creating our staging table within the staging schema, instead of creating this table within staging schema, let's create this within the transformation of the reporting schema itself, right? So we'll create it in the destination or in the same schema. So basically we'll be writing this to the same as our destination schema. Okay, so I'm going to insert this right here, like so. Okay. All right, so we do have, we should have this table now created here. So if I refresh this here, right, so we do have this table here, right? So we have this table here, and we don't have the field, so I'm just going to modify, I'm going to modify this, so we will have So I'm just going to put this one here, right here. We'll do this one reporting, like so. Okay, and then we will materialize this as a view. And actually, let me alias this. So let's say orders RPT, right? So this is going to be created as orders RPT within our reporting schema itself. Okay. So so you can see we have our we have our table here within reporting, and it contains the data, right? So it's going to do the same thing. It's going to what it's going to do here, the model itself will just go to the same schema reporting, and it's going to filter for only total amount where it's greater than or equal to 500. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and run this. We'll just do run again, and let's see what happens. All right, so there we go. So we can see now that this one successfully ran, and we have this orders RPT view created. And let's go back now and refresh this. And as you can see, yeah, we do have orders.rpt or orders_rpt with some data now. And these are our records so you can see order ID, customer name, product name, total amount, and these are customers that made orders 500 or more, right? Okay, so this is how it looks here. I will go back and check why it's not able to read from another schema. Most likely, it needs some special permission issues. But yeah, so that's how you can use DBT to transform data that's already within your Oracle environment. And we ran this basic model here, and it's able to write it back to Oracle, and we do have our data here now, right? Very nice. Okay, so just a quick recap. In this video, I just wanted to walk you through a high-level overview of how to set DBT Core with Oracle, and we did that. So we set up DBT, installed it within Python Fragile environment, and then we went ahead and made our connection, and it was able to connect successfully. And the idea was to get data from staging and put it to transformation layer. So we will just maybe, yeah, it's still fine. I think this is still the same one here, so we'll just call it staging and then transformed, so still within the same table or schema, really. Okay, all right, very good. So what else did I miss here? No, I think that is pretty much what I wanted to show you guys in this video. I think I have covered quite a bit. We were able to successfully make our connection, and then from there you can just go ahead and use your data to run transformation against within DBT. I do have quite a number of videos kind of similar to this, where I went through how to set DBT Core with a number of databases. There's MySQL. I did quite a number of them with Snowflake, Redshift, BigQuery. So do take a look into those videos if that's something that interests you. I'll put a link or playlist for that in the description, and you can go check it out. Alright guys, so that's pretty much what I had for you in this video. I hope this was helpful, and if it was, please give it a thumbs up, and also do subscribe to the channel if you have not, so that you can be updated when I release videos like this. Alright, and also do share it with your friends, anybody who you think we might get some help from this video. Please share it with them. Alright guys, that's it. I will see you in the next video. Bye.